following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Steve Dennis.
Name of the show is Media Mash. We're so glad you found it, Cowboys Nation. Happy to have you along on this Thursday. We are live from the SWBC podcast studio here at the Star in Frisco. My name is Steve Dennis. So excited to have these three gentlemen along for Media Mash this Thursday. It's Machota from The Athletic. It's Eatman from all Cowboys platforms, and it's E. Hill Jr. from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. You want to start it off with a question? Go.
Is it Machota or Machota?
It's Machota.
It's
like an
no with a
SH.
C, but it sounds like an S. Okay.
Clarence, I've known him 11 years, and I asked that question 11 years ago.
I never correct anybody.
What takes you so long?
Yeah,
because I think we go from Machota to Machota,
I answer
Master Shoda, matches,
It's fine.
Johnny Matches.
Let me ask you geniuses this. Every time there's a new Cowboy that shows up in the locker room, don't you go take care of that immediately? How do you pronounce your name?
What's a locker room?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's right. That's
how good of a player are we getting them? Or, we only get a...
You just do that first thing when you're a broadcaster because you can't give a bad pronunciation.
Yeah, we get the pronunciation thing in the notes and stuff like that.
Never trusted it. Always went to the player.
Yeah. Well, there's some players you just don't get.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
get what
Cowboys PR. I'm the guy that does the pronunciation takes pride in that.
Oh, I didn't mean to insult.
No, he does.
I just meant that
he does it because his name's been butchered for so long, probably.
Yeah, and I still butcher it.
Agelnick.
Agelnick. Agelnick. What road press box called him Agelnick? It was either Washington or New York.
It's like everyone.
And we want to thank Cowboys PR, Scott Agelnick.
Yeah. That's not that far off. If you're just sounding it out.
Agelnick?
If you're just sounding it out.
If your name is a Gulnick, you want to be called Agelnick?
I wouldn't want to be, but if you're just sounding it out, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
Well, you got to have easy names like
you
Hill.
Started it.
Hill, Dennis, Eatman.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Those are pretty
not
easy
much you
names,
can do with it. All right,
you can do a lot with Eatman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure growing up, people made fun of Eatman.
You got to put an S in there. It's got to have an S in there, right? It's got to. Whatever.
I remember doing a show with Keith Brookine, and he was amazed that everybody called him Keith Brookings.
Of course.
Everybody, including you, probably.
No. Was it like Irvin?
I've heard people say, that the greatest player ever was Michael Irving was the greatest Cowboy ever.
Yeah.
I was like, never seen him.
Don't know who you're talking about.
Never heard.
Well, even Miss Price, when she used to come to the show, would shout out, Keith Brookings! And he'd go, see, everybody, even Miss Price. How is Miss Price?
She's only here 1 year.
Why are you asking me?
You guys don't see her anymore?
She's at the games.
I've seen her.
Still rolling.
She's
still
Quincy!
Just checking.
Why would you do that?
Because of all and she calls it everybody's name, Dak, Romo, Tony.
You could have turned your head and said it that way. You didn't have to yell.
But the one that rings clear for me forever will be Quincy.
Oh, absolutely. See, Machota, I love direct questions. That's just a perfect direct. Why would you do that? That's just a perfect. All right,
deal with this all day long.
Clarence E. Hill came up with the question, the sentence for our very first segment today as we get ready to mash something up. Very simple question, and I like it. We were chatting, and the question is this: can the Dallas defense carry this team? Can the Dallas defense carry this team? I'm going to start with one little thing here, and then we're going to break it all down and mash it all up. They just did against Washington, because I love football games where you can just go to two specific spots and see where the game was won. And the defense did it. When it was 3-0 and Dak throws an interception, and you're going, here we go. And Gregory immediately gets an interception right back at the 41. They score in 7 plays. It's 11-0. And then 3 plays later, Micah, sack, fumble, scoop from Armstrong, touchdown, and it's 18-0.
Yeah, but
that is the defense winning a football game.
But sadly, it was 27-20. And the defense had to do it again.
I love that because
you know,
the
all that stuff we did in the first quarter didn't matter because it was 27-20.
Okay.
The offense gave it away.
More specifically,
with 3 minutes left.
4 minutes to go, 27-14. Dak throws the pick six, which is unforgivable. It's 27-20.
For Dak?
I think so.
Or Schultz?
Well, I heard you talking about that on the break. Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
And that could be true.
Keep running.
But it looked like he threw it right to Holmes.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was really Kellen Moore's fault.
So, but people don't realize this. Then they get the ball back and they go 3 and out in no time. And now, and I said to my wife, watch the defense put an exclamation point on them winning this football game here. And boom, they did. Gregory makes another ridiculous play, sack, fumble. So there's the answer just in a microcosm. This week, the defense carried them. So the bigger question, you go last.
And before that, and I'm sorry, you know, me and Nick been going back and forth about pool reports.
Oh, have we?
Yes, you know, because you wanted pool reports and on a couple of games before.
It's not back and forth. Just ask you if you're going to do it.
Okay.
This is great podcast.
Back and then fourth. Fourth and then back.
But Washington did a pool report on that fumble, and that could have easily been a incomplete pass.
Which one?
The Gregory fumble. Because the ball went forward.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe he was throwing it forward. With hand and arm.
So the Cowboys got the benefit of that one.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about the punt in the Denver game, and we argued about that.
What'd you think?
So I believe against teams like Washington and New York and Philadelphia and maybe even Arizona to a certain extent, if they continue to trend downward, yes, the defense can carry them and they can win those games. But I just find it hard to believe that they can win if the offense stays like this against Tampa Bay, against Green Bay. The play I go back to that just stands out to me so much is because I believe the last good team that they've played is Kansas City. And just right before half, that sack fumble that Micah Parsons had on Patrick Mahomes, and then the Cowboys get the ball. It just felt like such a momentum change there, and then they throw that interception. It just to me that stands out to me because it's like the defense can definitely keep them in games against any team in the league, and they are exceeding expectations. But to reach the ultimate goal, I just don't think you can do it just with the defense. This offense is going to have to give you something. It has to be better than it has been the last few weeks.
That's the great point. Is Kansas City was the same thing I was thinking of too. Like the defense tried to keep him in that game. Patrick Mahomes, and then they scored. They only scored 19. I still believe that was the kind of the nature of that game. If Cowboys would have scored, I think they could have scored more. But I mean, they were keeping them in it. But yeah, I mean, you got to have both. You got to have both. I don't know if the defense is special enough to just carry them all the way to the championship. But I think that they're gonna keep them in games because they have catalytic players that can just get turnovers at any time, and we're seeing that. And it's not just this Washington game, it was New Orleans too. Same thing. Same type of game, the fourth quarter, just a pick party at the end. The defense carried them.
Yeah, no, it's funny because Babe tweeted this earlier in the week. That
Babe Laufenberg?
The great Babe Laufenberg, that there was a time when we thought, as great as the Cowboys offense, they could be average on defense. Mm-hmm. Because that's how we thought about the defense, that this team could be special. Now we're like, as great as defense is playing, and greatness in terms of creating turnovers and sacks and big plays, not necessarily yards, because yards are still like 27, but you look at where they are with turnovers and game-changing plays, they're at the top of the league. If they can be average on offense, because they have not been. It's flip, but we have to reimagine this team to a certain extent because for so long it's been an offense-led team and the defense has always been the weak link. And Dak is great, and they were going to pull the defense along. And I don't, right now, this defense is pretty special, based on the players, and they have a chance to get better, with, Gregory and you saw his first game back, 2 sacks, and it was the game-changing plays he made with Gregory and Lawrence and to go along with Parsons and certainly Gallimore. This defense has a chance. We just think we have to reimagine how they win.
The reason why they flipped, though, going to Babe's point on that, is because Trayvon Diggs, particularly earlier in the year, and this entire season, Micah Parsons have far exceeded expectations. Yes. Name one player on offense that's exceeded expectations.
No, I agree.
There's not one.
No one has. And so as you hope the offense can get back to the mean, because right now they're below.
Before the injury, okay.
Sorry.
This defense is carrying them and has carried them. You just want the offense to pull their weight now.
Here's the thing. This is what they have been screaming for for 2 decades. We've all been discussing it for a very long time. And be careful what you wish for. And what I mean by that was back when they did creep in the top 5 or 10 in total defense, what would we always say? Well, they're not getting enough turnovers. They've been looking for a game-changing type defense for a very long time. You're right. They're 23rd in total defense. They still give up 360 yards a game. They're 15th against the run. They're 23rd against the pass. The defense is fairly mediocre except game-changing takeaways. And that's what they have been missing for 2 freaking decades.
Oh, I can give you a perfect example of a player-to-player thing. So do you want Byron Jones at corner or do you want Trayvon Diggs?
Right.
I'm taking Trayvon Diggs. I mean, that
Me
is
too.
literally the microcosm of the whole thing. It's like, do you want this defense that maybe looks better and it can be top 5 in yards and maybe scoring that? Or do you want the defense that it's like is going to be a league leader or one of the league leaders in takeaways? And the way the NFL is played nowadays, give me the league leader in takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why Micah Parsons, the reason what Clarence just said about we're changing our view on this now. It's flipped, and now the Cowboys, just to be average on offense, and the Cowboys' defense, I think it's the reason why Micah Parsons will have his hands full when he's showing everyone his awards. He better have 2, because that is what a defensive player of the year is.
Yes.
Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt and Aaron Donald have done a great job. I mean, they are phenomenal players, and they're helping their defense maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less than what we expected or anyone expected. But this is a night and day flip.
I heard you on the break today making that point, and I love it because it reminds me of what
I don't have original points from earlier today. I just keep the
No. I just it got me thinking. You were talking about how he's changed the culture. I believe Quinn has changed the culture, but Mike is the linchpin that made it work. And the energy, it's like Dak and Zeke in 2016. They completely changed the energy of the Dallas Cowboys. 2 rookies, and you went, wow.
Yeah.
And Mike is doing that on the other side of the ball.
He's supposed to have a rookie wall, right? Well, I guarantee you that the rookie wall doesn't have you making great plays and basically winning a game in Washington and then calling your defense coordinator up on Monday and say, what's next, boss? What's next?
Do you guys think every defensive coordinator would do this with Micah Parsons? Like, this is just an obvious thing that, of course, you play him at linebacker and then you play him at edge. Like, I don't think that every single coordinator out there would do that. I think a lot of them would be like, we're just leaving you at middle linebacker. That's what you played in college, and then we'll let you rush a little bit here or there. I think Dan Quinn has really helped elevate that.
I don't think the last defense coordinator would have done that. You know, and because he's so rigid in how he views the different spots.
Where do you think he would have played him?
Well,
he'd have played him at linebacker because that's where they drafted him.
Hold on, though. I think you're kind of making it sound like a lot of these linebackers can just play their position and also get up there. I mean, like, I think it's all Micah. I think it's 90% Micah.
Because
it is Micah, but we know coaches, and I don't
Quinn gave him the opportunity.
I don't want to. We also know coaches. It's like last year with Mike McCarthy. They have tenants. We don't want to change 2 positions. We don't want to put too much on the rookie. Often when they talk about moving Zach Martin to tackle, well, you don't want to make 2 position changes because it disrupts the other guy. You don't want to put too much on a rookie. You don't want to try him at 2 different positions. And they put too much on Micah from the beginning.
And it wasn't too much. He wants more.
And you could make the argument that they didn't do enough of that at Penn State.
Right.
Because if they're doing this at Penn State, he's never making it to 12.
Right.
Well, he didn't play the whole year.
No, but I'm saying the year before that, like the way he tore it up in that Cotton Bowl, his last college game.
He didn't just get better taking a year off.
But
everybody should just take a year off.
Who's the best linebacker in the last 20 years? I mean, I think it's safe to say.
I'd say Bobby Wagner.
20 years? I mean, Ray Lewis, maybe?
Oh, if you're going 20, okay. Yeah. I was thinking more like that.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like somebody that's still playing today. No, like Ray Lewis for sure.
Ray Lewis, so I hate saying this, but like
you thought you were gonna get cut?
He's better than Ray Lewis couldn't do those things that Micah's doing.
Yeah,
like
he can't inside linebacker.
I know, but I mean, now I'm not saying he plays the position as well as Ray Lewis,
right?
But I'm just saying, but they kept him there. They kept Patrick Willis there. They kept him right there. And I think Micah could dominate there, but I think they're also seeing he could whip this guard. He could whip this center. Oh, let's put him over here. He'll beat him.
Yeah, but he goes from making a sack to down 20 yards down the field or 40 yards down the field and almost make an interception.
Well, and what he did this week, too, was when you get D-Law and Gregory back, he's coming up the middle to get sacks.
Right.
He doesn't need to be on the edge.
Or Gregory's coming up the middle. They can use him in different ways.
That's right. He's just whoever's in front of him, he's beating them.
They're going to play Tampa in the playoffs, and I've said this before. And Tom Brady's going to be like, that's not the guy I played in week one. Like, I didn't play him.
You make a great point about Ray Lewis, though, and it is much like.
Get cut?
No, it's the energy. It's the energy that he brings to a team. Ray Lewis brought a ridiculous energy to that team, not just the defense.
No.
He was the dog.
Oh, yeah.
And Micah has all of that. And he's a rookie, and he wants to learn more before he really becomes the dog.
And since you brought up Ray Lewis and you brought up the word dog, and since we're making these comparisons, let's just talk about LT. Because, we talked to Mike the other day, and, he's the humble beast, the hungry lion, the guy that he's humble and saying, I don't want to be compared. But he's reaching for that comparison. He's reaching for greatness. He talked about being destined for greatness and how it's in him. He wants to be a dog. Like, he's had that dog mentality.
I love his honesty because you guys ask him a question. I'm not sure who asked it. But, this is what we do in Dallas-Fort Worth as a media. I love it. Right. Is this team a champion? Can it be a championship defense?
That
was that you?
That was part of my story from yesterday.
And his quote was, I believe so. I think that we got every piece that we need. I think we're very deep and we're healthy right now. This is what we've been anticipating. I mean, he doesn't, he's not afraid of any. Oh, no, we're not going to. Come on now, champion. J-Ron, what did J-Ron say?
No,
well,
when we
win the championship, then we'll be a championship defense.
Right, but he's not afraid of the moment.
That's right.
Just like going to New York.
Nothing scares him.
I'm not LT, but I want to show out in New York this week.
There's also a little bit. There's also a little bit of when we're comparing the two. Comparing the two comments. There's the Zeke Dak 2016 and Zeke and Dak today. Like, a lot changes. There's a little bit in 2016 where you're kind of young and you don't know right from wrong, and you're just kind of like, hey, we're having fun, we're winning games.
Yeah.
Micah's in that right now.
Yeah.
J-Ron Kearse has been in the league for years, so he kind of knows, like, hey, don't start assuming anything. This is a long road. We still have to go. And even with Micah, I do believe that if you asked him about any other player, I think he would have maybe answered a little differently. But there was just this, like, well, watch your mouth. You said Lawrence Taylor, like, be careful here, okay? Like, because Lawrence Taylor is just, for defensive players, particularly, like, front seven defensive players, like, you don't just throw that out on anybody that just plays 1 year. Like, you got to keep doing that over and over. And, like, he's just on a level that everyone's like, okay, hold on, just calm down right now. Don't go that far
But
yet.
then you got the next sentence where you say stuff like, wait a minute, LT couldn't do things that Mike could do.
No, and he didn't have 12 sacks his rookie year. But and just to put a bow on it, I don't know where we're going but just from the beginning, I asked him, because Jerry said earlier in the week the defense is leading the team. The defense is the strength of the team right now. And
it is.
It is. And Micah Parsons embraced that. Yeah, it's crazy because everybody thought they were the weak link at the start of the season. He brought that up. He said, everybody thought we were going to be last in the league, and for people to say that, that shows how far they have come.
A couple of points to make. The 27 takeaways have equaled 89 points. You talk about being mediocre and that's the important one.
Yeah.
The game-changing defense has produced 89 points. That's huge. It's fourth best in the league, by the way. You'll love this. They're the number one defense in fantasy football. The Dallas Cowboys. They've scored more points than any other defense in fantasy football. I knew you'd appreciate me bringing that up. But the Cowboys have never been that, ever.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, they're carrying the team the last 2 weeks. It's 3-2 offense in touchdowns. I mean, offense has scored 3 and the defense has scored 2. And then you take it back the week before that, Thanksgiving. The special teams scored a touchdown in that game, helped them get back in it with Tony Pollard. And, of course, offense had a few touchdowns there as well. But, I mean, you're right. I mean, they're scoring a lot. And what's they tied the record? They have 16 players have scored a touchdown this year.
Which is crazy because Micah Parsons is not one of the 16.
He's not one of them.
That's crazy.
He's not one of them. Like their best players on defense other than Diggs. None of those guys have scored.
Who's going to break the record and be 17? Corey
Clement.
Anger on a fake.
I think Corey Clement to score their 35th point or something like that.
Okay.
I hope it's Anger.
That's a good call. You want to make a call?
Who's going to be the next new player to score? You with us?
It'll break the all-time record.
He's not with us.
17 different players score a touchdown.
There's 7. Who hasn't scored?
Corey Clement.
Micah.
I said that.
Sprinkle.
What about Sprinkle?
There you go.
Sprinkle could be the guy.
Yeah.
Or one of the. What about McGovern? Oh, he already did. What?
McGovern.
McGovern
Let's
doesn't
do it.
score.
Hey,
didn't he?
No.
No. We were anticipating that he might do it.
Well, then he went to that thing where he was starting and all that stuff, and that makes
then
it hard
it
to score.
became more important.
But if he doesn't,
but he may go back.
Okay, let's be honest. Since we're here.
We are here.
Are we? Oh, we're back.
Yeah, we're here. The next person that's going to score is Micah Parsons.
Why?
Yeah, we just said that.
Yeah, I think you missed that while you were.
I'm just saying. Let's just go and be honest about it.
If we could get you
because
off Tinder.
He's done
Right.
the Bumble. Actually, he's done everything.
Honest.
Surprise. He's done everything but score.
True, he hasn't.
Hey,
He's done everything but
It's
score.
not.
here's another stat. They're 8-2 when they have 2 or more takeaways. 8-2 when they have 2 or more takeaways. That's a defense leading a team to wins.
So when Lawrence Taylor, I think this was the year. I think when he won in '81.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about against the Lions.
It wasn't the Lions.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, what has he not done, and what can he not do? If Micah Parsons picks off a pass, like if he picks off an Eric Hipple pass at the 1 yard line and takes it houses at 99,
pulls the Dorsett, goes 99.
Yeah, he's going to get the award if that happens.
That's when that
he needs his Heisman moment, his DPOY moment.
He hasn't had an interception since high school, so yeah.
There's just some guy out there.
I was going to say the same thing.
There's a guy that's got his sheet though, and he's going to be like, all right. Let's start off here. Defensive rookie of the year, Parsons, no doubt. Offensive, whatever, whoever it is. And then it's going to get down and it's like, I just picked him, But are you going to pick Garrett? I mean,
but I think T.J. Watt getting hurt helps. Garrett.
Do you think there's
Cleveland losing games?
Do you think there's people that are like, I'm not voting for him? He almost killed a guy with his helmet. I mean, Maybe. That doesn't get mentioned, though.
Not anymore. It goes away. It's 48 hours on that one.
No one's even brought that up this year.
And that's good. I just wonder if people, he's apologized. He's done that, and he's come back. He's played great.
Do you think Diggs takes any votes away?
Not really.
Right now, the Vegas lines have him as fifth.
I saw that.
So he's getting some votes, so that's the only reason why
What if he gets 1 in the next 4 games? That's 4 more. That's 13 on the season now. Well,
Diggs.
What if Diggs gets 3 more picks?
And I wanted. I'm hesitant to bring this up because he's about to go nuts, which is okay. We like when Chill goes nuts.
I'm not going nuts.
Well, we love it when
He's
you go
got
nuts.
Put down his phone.
I mean, the thing that there is no more exciting defense in the NFL than the Cowboys right now. We talked about this yesterday. Look, Randy Gregory. Let's spend 45 seconds on this monster. If he shows out like this, with D-Law coming back, Gallimore inside, whoever else you want to name, what the versatility that Quinn talked about with all the safeties and whatnot, this defense could lead.
Oh yeah, and you're not even mentioning Oso, Odigizua, Tristan Hill, Dorrance Armstrong had the fumble recovery for the touchdown. There's upside there with him. I mean, there's several waves of guys they can come with in that front 7 alone to make plays. And then the other guy who always gets, I feel like, forgotten about is J-Ron Kearse. Like, you get him for nothing in free agency, and he's turned out to be a guy that
I'm sorry. The only people I worry about is number 30. And number 55.
Yeah, because we saw the flag game against Vegas.
Yeah, there's no question other teams target 30.
If teams are going to target 30.
But also the linebackers. Outside of Micah, when Micah's rushing, they can get creased on the ground. And
Van Der Esch seems to be playing better, though. Is that me or are you guys seeing that?
I thought he played better in that game.
He played it better in that game, but his season overall has not been.
No, it hasn't been.
No.
And the funny thing about it is we don't see much from Keenan O'Neal anymore.
Right.
At all.
I will make this proclamation to you, Clarence. I will never criticize Randy Gregory again unless he doesn't repay Jerry for his patience and signs a long-term deal here. If he jumps and goes somewhere else, then I'll start criticizing.
I think the numbers would matter in that, though.
Because Jerry will make it fair for him. Are you kidding?
I'm saying when you see the numbers, if you were like, "Wow, the Cowboys weren't going to match that," of course he should leave. If that's, you just never know.
It's generational wealth, and you have opportunity to set yourself. The guy was working at Amazon last year, okay?
Yeah.
So if somebody offers him crazy money, but I do believe
it's an honest marriage, though.
No, I do believe if things are equal, he would want to stay here because he wants the consistency.
I'm just saying, if someone offers him something, don't get it there.
Yeah.
They don't get to offer anything if you do what you want to do.
That's right.
Right, that's on the Cowboys though. That's not
wait
be mad at Randy. That's all I'm saying.
No.
He brought up in the concerns
I
of
was
being mad at
teasing.
Randy.
I was teasing.
But don't do what the Cowboys always do, and then get to March 12th and be like, all right, let's talk about this. Like get it knocked out. Put that money in front of them right now.
Right.
You know you're going to.
You don't want to wait till the end of the season?
Huh?
You don't want to just kind of leave it
He
till the end of the season?
He meant after the season, between the
season
and the start of free
February.
agency.
Okay.
Now let's be
get
honest.
after
You
it.
have to be creative. You can't just give him a bunch of money without any things to cover yourself.
There are very few stories like this ever where an owner showed, obviously now, the proper kind of patience to a wonderful human being who had an issue, and now he's showing out. So, Jerry, they have to stay married.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Steve.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Called him a wonderful.
He was
human
always
being.
a wonderful human
He was always
being,
a wonderful
but he was
human
letting
being.
his team down.
Yes, but always.
I've said it 1,000 times. In 4 days, I think it's the greatest defensive player that I can remember play. That I haven't seen a play better than that.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Well, let's throw.
I've
some out
seen
there.
some.
I don't know. I've seen some. I've seen defensive
seen-
ends do that before.
Okay, I mean, to me,
I've seen Nicky Bosa do some crazy things.
Yeah.
Where he tipped one and spun it around and caught it with his left hand.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from Gregory, but I think I've seen. I mean, because his size, he's long. I've seen that before.
Getting blocked, I mean, I just thought it was a great play.
Let's move on. We're gonna get to the second segment. I'm gonna use this quote because it came from Dak today. Quote: I do realize I'm not playing my best ball. I haven't been playing it. Have made some poor decisions, you could say, as he said to all of you. You've heard this already. I wouldn't say it's a slump. It's not slump material, but I'm definitely not up to my standards or expectations. All right, let's get to the next segment and mash up the offense. Next on Media Mash on Dallas
Big
Cowboys.
news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Media Mash.
Steve Dennis here, John Machota there, Nick Eatman right over there, and Clarence E. Hill Jr. to my right here. I don't even know. Is this thing on me? I hate when this thing is on me. I like it when... Is it?
Nope.
Camera switch?
Nope. Yep, there it is. There he is.
Stay on
that big old face.
big old nose. Look at that big old nose. It's like my mom used to say, when God made you, he just took a wad and threw it and it just landed right here.
Jeez, thanks, Mom.
Way to go, Mom. Yeah.
Wow.
That was my loving mother. All right, we're going to move to the offense. And I meant that.
Yeah.
We're going to move to the offense here on Media Mash.
Yeah, I don't have a big night.
I don't think we need to get into. I don't think we need to get into the Dak slump. Didn't we kind of kill that yesterday?
A little bit.
And you've been doing it all week, and you've been doing it. I mean, we could dabble on it now that he's
I think he's in a slump. I wasn't on here yesterday. I think he's in a slump. But I mean,
it's okay to say, but they don't want to say it. Jerry doesn't want to say it. He goes, that's fair, I guess.
That seems like a baseball term to me. I mean, I use it. They use it in baseball a lot. I mean, it's like, okay, like
he's playing bad.
Tony Gwynn back in the day probably was in a slump. Cool, you're batting third. Get out there. I mean, cool. 0 for 4.
That's right. You're not going anywhere.
That sucks. Well, you'll be out there tomorrow night.
Can't wait till you break out of it. You're going to be awesome.
Right. I mean, remember when Steph Curry missed one shot, maybe 2 shots in a row when it was a slump?
Well, you know yeah.
Keep shooting, my
well,
friend.
You know, and I talked to Jerry yesterday.
Well, I knew as soon as it went down here, I was like, how's Clarence going to segue into this?
I mean, you can read that on StarTelegram.com. But I talked
Clarence, how you doing today?
But who would ever do that?
I talked to Jerry yesterday, and he said that his word slump was kind of not taken the right way because slump means you're going to come out of it. And he wants to make sure we understand that, I think he's in a slump or he's been in a slump, just like we're saying, but that doesn't mean he's going to stay there. You know, it's not a decline. And some people are suggesting, maybe not us, but people outside, that it's a decline.
No.
You know, like
somebody's saying that?
Well, I mean, there are people that are saying this
or
is...
they're going back to the old discussion.
Yeah,
Dak's not the right guy.
Right. And he said, yes, but I believe that he's going to go back up again because that's who he is. It's slump. That's what slump is. You're in a slump, then you're out of a slump.
Well, I mean, if you're a person that, like, literally argued, like a diehard Cowboys fan, you argued with your friends all the time that Romo's a better quarterback. Romo should still be the quarterback, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're still going to be a Cowboys fan with Dak as a quarterback, but then as soon as the littlest thing shows, it's like, hey, remember I told you? Remember that?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Where were you the last 3 or 4 years
that
when
was
we talked
4
about
years ago.
Well,
dude.
it was fine. We were winning, but I told you. Remember? I told you. So people liked it because at the end of the day, whether it's sports, whatever, when you're arguing, you just want to be right. And so
we've been in this discussion so long. I had one buddy this week that said, Dak will never be the guy. And you know what I say to those guys now? Shut up.
Yeah. Now,
it's just shut up.
Now, Dak acknowledged he's not playing well, but there are other things that, I mean, the interior of that offensive line, which is why they're going back to Connor Williams.
Oh, they are? They're going back to Connor?
Breaking news from Clarence E. Hill Jr.
At left guard. Look for it. But they're going back to Connor Williams. I mean, you look at some of the plays, and they're all in his face.
You can mash it all up.
And you talked about,
there's reasons.
You talked about the interception that was, when Mike McCarthy talked about spacing and different things that tight end should have kept going.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff.
Drops.
There's a drop.
There's a lot of stuff.
Like CD dropping the hitch that was
what
right
I would
there
say to you, though, Chill?
early in the game.
All of those are reasons that he's making poor decisions.
Yeah.
But he's still making poor decisions.
No doubt. It's all in the same gumbo.
Yeah. And when Dak is on, he's making superlative decisions. And right now he's not.
No.
And he admits it. He said some poor decisions, you could say. That's what it is when you're an elite quarterback. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You slump, whatever. He's just not making the right decisions. He's doing things a little quicker, maybe, not as smooth.
And you look at last week's game, and part of his game has been throwing the ball to the running backs. Without Tony Pollard last week, you think you can get much done throwing to the running backs? I mean, Zeke is. Throwing to Zeke. I know.
God, I was like, quit throwing this deep ball to Zeke. He's not Randy Moss.
He's not Randy Moss, but he's not even Zeke from early in the season.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't throwing the pass to Zeke with a swing pass. I mean, you're not making a living doing that. You're not going to get out of a funk doing that. Certainly don't trust necessarily throwing the ball to Corey Clement doing that.
Is there a bigger ghost in the league than Dalton Schultz right now?
Oh,
what happened to going to Schultz occasionally? I mean, that's not even a part of the game anymore. Why?
Wait, what's this? No, what are you doing? What does that mean?
Because 3 weeks into the season, he was number 3. He was top 5 tight end in the league.
What's he now? 6?
No.
He's
screaming with a bullet at about 12.
12?
Hey, against the Giants last time, he had 6 catches for 79 yards.
Yeah,
He's in a
What are you doing?
I mean, I get one, but not 5 in a row.
Because these are all extensions of other conversations. We never let anything go.
No, it never dies. Discussions never die.
Back to those Cowboys fans that are like, I told you.
Right.
Never
we never let anything go.
Fasano is not that good. Those discussions never die.
I'm not gonna pretend to be this X's and O's expert. But I'm willing to bet that if you went and looked back at the last 5 or 6 games, there are certain things that the defense is doing in certain situations, maybe red zone, whatever, to try and take Schultz away. Like, not take him away completely, but maybe just helping out a little bit more, because that has been kind of like a safe guy to go to for Dak. And it's not just Schultz, but it's just as a quarterback, your tight end in general.
But that's so crazy.
And you don't have Blake Jarwin.
But nothing else. If you're going to take away Dalton Schultz, you're like, cool.
Somebody better be there.
Then,
right, that's what's so crazy about it. Okay, so they're taking Amari away, they're taking CD away, they're taking Mike Gallup away, and they're taking Schultz away. That doesn't make any sense.
Are you
to
sure
me.
they're taking any of it away?
Well,
they're just kind of giving it all up, nice and tight.
I guess this is what I should say. Not taking it away, like, we will not allow you to complete a pass, not allow you to do what is like you like to do. And when I say that, I mean keeping things underneath. They're not blitzing as much against this offense they normally did. And the big plays aren't there. And I think to a certain extent, Dak wants to hit some of these big plays, because at the end of the day, that's what wins these games.
All right, next question. Next question goes in hand with that. In your guys' opinion, going forward to sort of ramp up for the playoffs, would you rather see better legs or a better arm? And you know what I mean. Better legs, run game. Better arm, Dak. Something with Dak.
Well, if you're talking about just Dak himself, then I would say the arm, because I don't care if he runs or not. He's proven that he can win.
No, I'm talking about the other legs, Zeke and Pollard.
Oh, yeah, you weren't being clear about that, because you said with Dak.
Well,
running the ball or passing?
You're way too smart to not understand me.
No, because
you're trying to be cute and say it differently, but
because you're acting like that.
You got to dumb it down for us. Run the ball or pass?
Right, because you're acting like people aren't talking about how like Dak needs to run more.
Yeah,
that's a thing that's out there that a lot of people are talking about.
All right.
So
I mean, is it going to be about, to fix the offense, is it going to be about the run game, or do we need to pass more?
I'll take you. I'll stop this little conversation. They need to run the ball. They have to. Games are going to get colder. It's going to get tougher to run. I mean, it's going to get tougher to throw the ball. We saw that in Kansas City. We saw that a little bit in that game there. You got to run the ball this time of year, and if you can do that, it will open up the pass.
Clarence,
I don't know if the pass
you
opens
agree?
up the run.
I would ordinarily, I would agree with you.
You're going to bring up balance, aren't you?
No.
Okay, good.
I just don't think they can run.
Yeah.
So I have no hope in the running game right now. Zeke is not healthy. Zeke is not going to be healthy. It's not going to be the Zeke we saw for the first 5 or 6 games. So it has to be the passing game. Because I just don't have any confidence they're going to be able to run like you want them to be able to run.
You think they ran the ball well last week?
No. That was a lie.
I think it was better than what it's been.
I think there was some, like they said, there was some good 4 and 5 yard runs.
Functional.
I mean, it's
I just think,
where
I
was it in the fourth quarter?
While I agree with Clarence that they just can't run it right now, they have to be able to run the ball, because you're not going to get the defense to loosen up at all. It's not like it's not like it used to be where they would put all these guys extra man in the box and stuff like that to stop the run. They're not doing any of that. They're not even honoring the run, because they don't need to bring the extra guy in there. So until you do show that you can run somewhat, I don't think that this offense in the passing game will even come close to reaching its maximization.
I'm going to phrase my answer this way. If Kellen Moore, who we'll talk about later, taking the Jacksonville job, if Kellen Moore is going to put his creative hat on and roll his sleeves up and try to figure out why the offense is in a slump, and he's going to figure out some ways to get him out of it, is he going to mess with that running the ball, or is he going to mess with that with Dak throwing the ball? My answer is it's going to be Dak throwing the ball.
He's a former quarterback, of course.
And it's going to be quicker stuff, and he's going to figure out something. Now, what he figured out with the run game, when they couldn't get it, because Zeke is hobbled, inside was all of a sudden CD gets one and goes 33 yards on a quick pass behind the line. He's got CD running the ball a couple of times last week. Pollard ran on the edge and broke a long one. He's being creative to get on the edges with the run game. But I think and I hope that, and we're going to see it against the Giants, and that'll be my next question. They may be the perfect opponent.
Yeah, because they got nobody playing.
For what ails, well, even if they did. I mean, Washington has less playing, but the Giants are more of a perfect opponent. I just hope that Kellen puts his genius hat on and comes with a way to get the ball in Amari's hands 6 times, CeeDee's hands 8 times, maybe Schultz's hands 6 times, and gets it going. Faster pace, Dak in charge. I think that's the answer. That's me.
Well, and you got a head coach that builds everything around his quarterback. You have a offensive coordinator who is a former quarterback who has talked about how he doesn't look at it as like we have to have so many runs, things like that. Like it's all about yards. So he's going to lean passing game. It was just at different times when Scott Linehan, Bill Callahan were here. Like they were run first. This offense, this is totally pass first.
I don't agree with that, honestly. I just think that they need obviously they need to move the ball. You saw it in New Orleans. They ran the ball, but it was all, horizontally. It wasn't really vertically. I mean, they had to stretch the field, use all 53 yards of it or whatever.
Be creative,
to move it. And at the end of the day, like, was it a pass? Was it a run to CeeDee? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
33
yards or yards.
So that's, I think they're figuring that out.
Dennis Allen's really good with his run scheme defense.
Yeah,
though.
but they're going to have. I think they get right in this game against Sunday. I mean, I know it's the Giants, but I don't know if that's getting right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is it getting right because you're beating
It'll warm them up.
You're beating up a beat up team.
Sure.
But certainly I think they're going to be more creative to try to force the running game, whether it's the short passing game like they did against Tampa in the opener. I think that's what the hit screens and all of the stuff is about, because they can't run it.
Faster pace.
Yeah,
but his play. I'm sorry, but his play action's not working at all because no one cares about it because he's not running it. So I mean, like running the ball and figuring out ways to just figure out how to run a little bit will open up more play action.
I'm with you on the little bit.
And having some holes to run through will help too.
When we were playing...
That's why they need to make a switch there at left guard.
That's why they're probably going to make a switch there.
We got a quick golf analogy alert. When I was playing high school golf, when you're in a slump, you know what we used to do? We used to play the ladies' tees. We'd move up to make more birdies, build our confidence. The Giants are the ladies' tees this weekend.
Wow.
Okay, you go build up your confidence. Yeah. And you go do the stuff that he's trying to figure out against them, and then you'll be fine.
I guess I missed the part where they've been playing Murderer's Row these last few weeks. Like, you couldn't be getting this right somewhere else. I mean, weren't you feeling like they were getting it right against the Falcons?
There is no team on their schedule this year that they abused any way they wanted to offensively than the New York Football Giants.
But that's when they were playing well. This is not that Cowboys offense.
They had 500 yards of offense. They ran it. They threw it.
This is not that Zeke again.
And the
Tony Pollard is hurt still.
All right, that brings me to my final offensive question. Would you guys be so-called, with the air quotes, patient with Pollard, with what he's fighting with? Would you not be in a hurry to get him up for this game against the Giants?
So because of this particular injury, they talk about how, like, once you start to tear it, like, it actually gets better when it completely tears. It's plantar fasciitis is very common in basketball, and you hear about this all the time. NBA players having it, and they say that they get better when it actually tears completely. So if that's what you're trying to get to, keep playing him. But if you know that by resting him, it'll allow it to get better that way, absolutely rest him. Yeah. And so it's up to the medical staff what they think is going to be the best plan. But if they think the best plan is rest, absolutely rest him.
Yeah, I'm resting him, and I don't have to play CeeDee Lamb at running back. I mean, that's nice on spot duty now and then. But I think that last play that we saw
by the sideline,
that
just got rocked.
Pretty big hit there. He's too tall to be playing
and he's too light.
Right.
Yeah,
he's not the guy in San Francisco.
He's agile.
Yeah, but he's not the guys that are a lot of the guy in Atlanta and the guy in San Francisco running receivers are playing. They're bigger, more stockier
Absolutely.
guys, and they're probably faster.
And will run you over.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep Pollard out.
But I would. If
hey Tony, there's Tyron. Y'all hang out.
Would you even consider doing it? A couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and the funny thing about it is we're giving Pollard rest. We still haven't given Zeke any rest.
I know.
That's because he's a warrior.
I mean, he's a warrior, but
he's not a game breaker anymore. He's a warrior.
Tony didn't say drag me off the field. He's like, I'm out.
Zeke is very smart up here.
But Tony
knows his
Tony's
role.
Quickness, matters, and you need him fully healthy to maximize him.
Yes.
Let me just say too. I'm joking about that. I was down on the field before the game, and I saw Tony Pollard trying to get himself ready to go, and I don't think anyone ever thought he was going to play, but he was trying. I think he thought he could do enough things on the field, and the trainer Britt Brown at the end, when he told him, You don't have it today. And he kind of just put his arm around. I mean, you could tell Tony was discouraged. He's got his cleats on. He's got his ankles taped him. He's ready. I mean, he's going to try to do this. And he couldn't. So,
he's been the same way at practice last weekend. This
right.
week. With his ankles taped, ready to go.
If that's a playoff game or maybe a little bit later in the season, I bet it's different answers.
It's so funny because we hit on this yesterday pretty strong about sometimes I think that all of us and many of you Cowboys fans listening are guilty of this maybe, too, because you're passionate, it's your team. But, man, not only do the Cowboys have the most exciting defense in the NFL right now, they're going to be as healthy as anybody in the NFL. Knock on wood. I mean, it's been a long road for them. Yeah. But you've got one guy on the injury report. These other teams have 20 out with COVID. Now, the Cowboys went through that.
Yes, yeah.
But these teams, if it remains, it's so exciting to see what we've been talking about when they get the additions and Gregory does what he did and D-Law and Gallimore. The conversations we may be having before the Arizona game are going to be totally different than what they've been the last few weeks because this team has a couple of games just to kind of ramp it up a little bit, clobber their division, clinch everything, and then they got the fun one with Arizona. Maybe.
So you're saying these next couple games will be the women's tees, and then they'll get back to the men's tees against Arizona?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
I don't play golf. So.
And hopefully their confidence will have gone up a little because they made more birdies. See?
The women's tees and the men's tees.
I don't know.
Well, that's an old school phrase. It's the up tees. Many ladies today will play the back tees. You move up.
We're just messing with
Okay, don't you mess with me on those kind of
I don't know how to
on that kind of stuff. This is Media Mash on Dallas Cowboys. .com radio. Steve Dennis with Machota, with Nick Eatman, with Clarence E. Hill Jr. Stuff coming up as we wrap it up on this Thursday. Will the Cowboys clinch? Sizing up the seed race. And is Kellen Moore the perfect choice to replace that Urban Meyer mess in Jacksonville next?
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Media Mash.
All right, let's talk about clinching a playoff spot this weekend. I've just got it figured out to this, and there's so much, but if the Cowboys win and Tampa Bay wins, they're in.
I don't know if it's that simple.
It's that simple.
Say it again.
I don't think it's that simple.
It is that simple.
One more time. Really detailed.
If the Cowboy, well, I can say it another way. If the Cowboys win and New Orleans loses, they're in.
I think they clinch a playoff. They don't win the division.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They clinch a playoff spot.
Okay.
That's it. Now, you could also say if they win and the Eagles beat Washington, but then there's another tiebreaker scenario involving the Eagles, so it's not a done deal. The only done deal, and Rookie will yell at me if I'm wrong about this, because he's the one that just took me through it. If the Cowboys win and New Orleans loses, they're in. And what's the other one, Rookie? If the Cowboys win and somebody else loses, they're in.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. And that San Francisco plays Atlanta, so good luck with that. But New Orleans plays Tampa.
Yeah.
So there you go.
This just kind of seems like it almost feels like just clinching a playoff spot this year just kind of seems like Alabama being bowl eligible.
It is. That's what it is.
What an epic story would be if they didn't make the playoffs.
No, you could say that they're not going to be in the Final Four. You don't have to say bowl eligible. That would be like Alabama not being in the Final Four.
To Nick's point, like we can talk about this, but like that's the biggest story. 10 years covering the Cowboys, biggest story would be if they didn't make the playoffs this year.
Or if
it would be amazing.
Or even if they're like the 7th seed going at Green Bay or Tampa, and you're like, God, no, they wouldn't. Yeah,
they would.
Yeah, they'd be.
But yeah, and saying that, you kind of want New Orleans to beat Tampa.
Yeah, that's true.
If the Cowboys win out, it helps you with the home field thing.
That's the only game
so you
Tampa
don't really
might lose.
Yeah.
Well, COVID,
you're right.
though, has changed all of that. You never know from week to week who's going to be out there on the field. Because I put out all the ranking of like where the Cowboys are, and people are like, they're not going to catch Green Bay and Tampa. Yeah, that's what you think. You don't know. Like, I mean, when you see these teams getting 20 positive tests and you're not going to have guys playing, who knows what could happen in these final games.
Right. And Green Bay showed you, when they don't. They don't have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they're just totally different. Now,
no one's scared of them without Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he's already gotten COVID, so.
Yeah, but when they do have Aaron Rodgers,
and
how do you know that?
Right now, right?
Huh?
Broken toe.
Yeah, broken toe.
He might not play this week.
Yeah, he might miss some games.
And Lamar won't play against him, maybe. So that game will be loads of fun without Rodgers and Lamar. But, and the one tiebreaker, what Cowboys fans want to root for, especially if you're going to bring up the number 1 seed. See, I think it's more about rooting for the number 2 seed or even the 3rd seed. Just get out of the 4th. Get out of the 4th because you don't want the Rams first and then Tampa 2nd. So if you can get out of the 4th, that's gold.
I'll take any of those over anything that has to do with going to Green Bay. I'll take any of those.
Really?
Any one of those other scenarios.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Explain yourself. Just the history?
I can't.
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers'
he's
history.
From Michigan.
Going up there, playing in the cold, not having a run game, I mean, I don't even need to go to all those other things. It's just Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. You do not want to go up there and face
You think
them.
Aaron Rodgers is going to lose to McCarthy?
Right.
In the playoffs.
Boy, I didn't even think
how about
that.
McCarthy beating Aaron Rodgers?
Now that may be something to root
how
for
about
right there.
that? You didn't think about it. That's your narrative.
You want to put some money on that?
No, but that's your narrative.
Oh, he wants to bet.
Not his narrative. Your narrative.
Okay.
He's moving his shoulders.
How about
How about you?
Glass half full.
Yeah,
okay.
You deal in fairy tales. I'll deal in reality.
Yeah.
Green Bay is the one problem in the major tiebreaker, though, because they're 8-2 in conference. Cowboys are 7-1. Chances are Cowboys are going to get to 9-1 in the next 2 weeks in conference, which clobbers them. So you want Green Bay to lose one more because there's a good chance they could all be tied. If they're all tied with 4 losses, Cowboys are the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. Because of their conference tiebreaker.
Right.
And that is a very real thing to root for. So if you're going to look at it and figure it all out, right now those 3 teams are a game ahead of Dallas. If they can get even with all 3 of them and finish there, and they play Arizona, so they got to beat them. But if they're all, it's to say they all have 4 losses. They're all 13-4. Did I do my math right? 13-4. Yeah. Green Bay's the problem with the conference tiebreaker. The Cowboys are a game ahead of them. But if they win the next 2, they'll be better than that. So it is something that's still very real and possible. And the number 1 seed in this group of NFC teams, man, that would be awesome for the Cowboys. Be awesome.
Yeah, because they could rest, seek.
Take a week off. And it comes through AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, great home field advantage there.
That's how you win Super Bowls. Yeah. Right there. Hey,
with an S on the end?
Super Bowls right there.
They could take their week off in Philly if they do what they need to do. I mean, this is what I have been predicting for a while. They're going to obviously clinch the division before that. they're going to go into Philadelphia with like an outside chance to improve their position. And it's like, do you play for that or do you play for this much needed bye? And,
well, if you have a chance to get the 1, you
no, not the 1. I'm not talking about for the 1. I mean like the 4 to the 3 or the 3 to the 2, which is still important because if a 1 gets knocked off by the 5 or 4, which could happen.
If you're the 3, yeah.
I mean, then all of a sudden you could host the NFC Championship game without even you can kind of back into it. So it's all important to get up higher, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's also important. I mean, Tyron Smith. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, I will see you
in
that wild card weekend, whatever. I'll see you then.
I'm with you.
It's not a bad idea.
Because he knows how to play, whether he's been off for 6 months or 2 days.
If he's resting his ankle, he's also resting his neck and his back and his knee and his everything.
You could say that about some other guys, too.
And then maybe Terrence Steele plays Terrence Steele plays.
We lost Clarence. Clarence!
I'm watching. They said the Cowboys have 10 sacks on Sunday.
What if?
Oh,
call me crazy, but
10 sacks on Sunday.
What are we watching here?
Against Mike Glennon.
So we were talking about what happens if Terrence Steele plays so well that Tyron doesn't get his job back.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's have some fun with this because Machota started it, and I want to hear from you guys. I mean, we're looking at 3 experts right here on Dallas Cowboys football. We know the NFC. He doesn't think the Cowboys can beat Green Bay.
In Green Bay.
In Green Bay. So let's have a little fun with this. I personally think they could beat everybody.
Oh, they could. But we were talking about scenarios that we wanted to vote off
Let
the
me
island.
finish. Except 2 teams. I don't think they can beat the Rams when push comes to shove.
Really?
And I don't think they can beat San Francisco when push comes to shove. I think they can beat Tampa, Arizona, Green Bay. Those 2 would worry me. Rams and San Francisco. What say you?
I can't believe you put them out of Green Bay.
Your
That's
opinion
silly.
is your opinion, and you're never wrong. I disagree with it 100%, though, because when I think about what this team is doing right now, you got to go find number 11. You got to find him and figure out what he's doing on this play. That's every single play. I think Brady, Rodgers, he can do it pretty well. But I just don't think who's 49ers quarterback?
49ers.
You said San Francisco.
You know why I said San Francisco?
Would you pay attention to the conversation?
You know why I said San Francisco? Because Shanahan runs a physical run offense that may run right over them. That scares me.
I can't believe you would put that ahead of Aaron
They
Rodgers.
are so
then
physical.
You shut it down and you force him to throw, and when he does, then you pick it off.
Can they shut him down? Now they've been going through 9 running backs because they're all unhealthy.
No, I get it. They got a lot of issues there, but that guy in Stafford. I mean, and he's playing. Stafford's playing outstanding. I know he needed to get out of Detroit. I know, but I mean, he's playing better.
I hear your
this year.
point. He's
playing
one.
better. He's still. I think he's got as many playoff wins as the 4 of us combined. So I take my chances there. I just don't. I just think this defense is nasty. I think Rodgers, Brady, those guys are the quarterbacks.
The ones to figure it out.
That's what I would think.
What do you think,
obviously, it depends on where you are. I mean, Machota's right. You don't want to go to Green Bay. You know, and I don't really think any of the other places are homes that you worry about.
You said Machota earlier, and he goes right back to Machota. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Machota. I'm sorry.
It's funny.
Anyway,
just think MASH.
He's our Clarence, isn't he?
MASH Media.
The bottom line is, I'm sorry.
Media MASH.
Sorry.
Machota.
You don't want to go to Green Bay, but they can beat any of those teams at home, and they can beat those teams on the road. Outside of Green Bay.
I'm not afraid of going to Green Bay as long as Blandino's not involved. But go ahead.
When did you start watching this team? You don't think that? Oh my Lord! What about Aaron Rodgers doesn't scare you in the playoffs?
When the Cowboys are right, and again, my problem with predicting wins is that the Cowboys have not been right in 6 weeks, and I don't know that they're going to get right beating up on Washington and the Giants. I don't know that we're going to see the right Cowboys again until they show us that.
I don't know. I think, and I'm not a huge Kyler Murray fan, but there's one guy. I mean, the thing about this defense is speed, and he can get around that. He's super fast, super quick, all that. Brady and Rodgers, I just said, recognizing it. I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because
No, your first thought was your right thought. I'm telling you.
No, they're outstanding and they'll recognize and they'll do all that.
But after watching the opener, you don't think the Cowboys could beat Tampa? After watching the opener, I do.
Of course they could, but if you're telling me, that's a different conversation. You're talking about picking, can they do it? Yes, they can beat any of these teams. There's so much parity in the league. They absolutely can. But you're talking about picking that over the Rams and San Francisco? It's easy. Obviously,
who's going to make sure Cooper Kupp doesn't have 18 catches for 212 yards?
Who cares?
There's no better receiver in the NFL.
Who is shutting down Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady? Nobody. Nobody's shutting down Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. It's just not happening. Give me Cooper Kupp all day long over my other options being picking those two.
I don't know about that one because, you also have to deal with Aaron Donald on the other side.
And Jalen Ramsey, and let's keep going.
That's the scary thing about the Rams because they have the no, but I'm just saying.
We're talking about when the chips are on the table. And
all these teams are good, but
here's what I like about playing the Bucs again. Your best offensive player and your best defensive player were not in the game like they are now. Zach Martin is your best offensive player. I think he's most consistent. He wasn't even there, and they didn't even mess with trying to run the ball up the middle. And Micah Parsons is a shell of himself for what he is right now.
Plus, it's hard to win back-to-back Super Bowls. That's not very common. It's very tough to do that. So there's that too. But I'm just saying, it's laughable to me to even put Rams, 49ers in that same category with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, NFL. The history is there. You whatever way you can get rid of that, and you're obviously going to have to deal with it at some point. But put that down the road. That if you can get that voted off, you cheer for them to be knocked off.
I try to get out of the playing the Rams.
I just need the Cowboys.
Thank you.
I just need the Cowboys to get right before I even consider any of those possibilities.
Okay, that's fair too. We got time to talk about it. All right, let's spend the last couple of minutes here on this. Now that Urban Meyer has completely destroyed his legacy and he's out in Jacksonville. I do believe. It could be the perfect spot for Kellen Moore because what they need is an unassuming, roll your sleeves up type of hardworking head coach. Jacksonville is not used to drama, and Urban gave him that. He's a quarterback whisperer. Trevor Lawrence is what it's all about. If Kellen Moore is going to go to another team, why is Jacksonville not the perfect choice?
No, it would be a great choice for any of those guys. Personally, for me, I think that it's the best fit with Trevor Lawrence to bring in an offensive coach. But I can't sit here and I think Kellen Moore is going to be an outstanding coach for a long time. But I don't know how you just jump over like Eric Bieniemy and some of these other offensive coaches that are kind of been in this picture for an extended period of time.
Good point. But a lot of people are already putting Kellen in that category. Admittedly. It's been talked about for 7 weeks.
No, I'm talking about now, though. In the last 6 weeks. I'm just saying, I guess my problem is right now is Kellen Moore needs to fix what's going on here.
Okay. He
needs to fix what's going on here because to be that guy, and you're saying who he's developed, I don't know that he developed Dak. I can't say he's the reason why Dak's development. You're saying he's the guy who can develop a quarterback. Jason and Linehan and all those guys were part of Dak as a rookie and helped get Dak on this path as well. But can he? He has. We talk about Dak's in the slump. The play calling's in the slump.
Yeah. Play calling was a problem in that Washington game.
The play calling in the slump. Okay. So to sit up here as soon as the first opening come with throwing Kellen Moore, and I'm like, come on, let's bring it down.
I think arrogance is a big part of the offense sometimes, and I think and it happened with Garrett all the time too. Is that it's that interception that they threw that was a pick six. I think that was a result of let's just go get this. Let's just go get this because we can. We got this play and it'll work and all that stuff. When the smart thing to do on 2nd and 6 is keep running it.
That was stupid.
Keep making them call timeouts. You're going to punt it with 3 minutes to go, and you're up 13, and they're going to probably throw a pick and fumble and all that stuff anyways.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Just doing all that just because you've completed it before, I don't know. I think arrogance plays a part into it.
I guess what I should have said is if Kellen Moore is a viable head coaching candidate at the end of the year,
why not?
That would be a place for him. Yeah. And I didn't mean to say that he has developed Dak. he's a quarterback, so he thinks like a quarterback.
I understand.
And when you've got a Trevor Lawrence, you would kind of like to have a head coach like that,
But
I would think.
The guy,
although I'm not sure it worked for Jason Garrett.
The guy in Buffalo,
Brian Dable.
There are a number of guys who, to me, are ahead of Kellen Moore. And I would say that the guy that's proven most he's ready to be back be head coach is Dan Quinn.
Yeah, you're probably right. Love this game tonight, real quick. The reason why I love this game tonight, Chiefs and Chargers, we're going to get another one in 3 weeks when the Cowboys play Arizona, and there's some others. You get a little tease for the playoffs on a Thursday night. I mean, I don't even know if the rest of the weekend beside the Cowboys game matters a hell of a lot, but this game tonight's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and the good news is, unlike a lot of teams around the league, this game is not ravaged by COVID issues.
True. Well, Chris Jones is out.
Chris Jones is
out, and the left tackle's out for the Chargers, Slater.
Well, not ravaged, but yes, he got two players. But I mean, the Giants,
right?
Washington,
not as bad as others. Yeah.
6 and 7 guys out.
All right, can't wait to watch it. That's our time here on Media Mash. Thank you guys for letting me chat some Cowboys football with you. Thanks to rookie Chris Beam. As always, enjoy the game this weekend in the fine New Jersey area.
MetLife.
And we'll chat with you guys next week. Everybody say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Later. This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!